Vladimir Duthiers is here with me now to share more of his memories about Carrie Fisher. So many of us in this same age. Star Wars and Carrie Fisher had so much meaning. I am so jealous of you, Vlad. You got to meet her at the Correspondents' Dinner. What was that moment like when you get to meet somebody who really was a part of your childhood?
You know, we in this profession, Dana, we have we're blessed to be able to interview dignitaries, presidents, monarchs. But for me, this was a moment interviewing Carrie Fisher at the White House Correspondents' Dinner with her beloved Gary. And I couldn't conduct the interview because I was so dorky and nerdy. I like to think of myself as a pretty good interviewer, but I was asking a lot of silly questions because I was just psyched that I was standing in the presence of Princess Leia. And at the end, she gave me a little peck on the cheek and said thank you. And I remember turning to the camera and going, like, Princess Leia just gave me a kiss. You know? And
well, I heard you say earlier this morning, she was your first crush. Princess Leia was your first crush.
Because in the summer of 1977, when Star Wars first came out, that was probably one of the first movies I actually went to see in a theater.
Right.
And I had never seen an actress, a heroine like Princess Leia. Not only was she beautiful, but she was intelligent, she was spunky, she was a rebel. She punched back, like, verbally with the boys, and she had this great chemistry with Luke and with Han, Mark Hamill, and Harrison Ford. And so I was blown away. And then, you know, by the time Return of the Jedi came out, it's funny because as an adult now, we look at that role, the bikini that she hated, and, you know, we were saying earlier that she choked out Jabba the Hutt. But you know, certainly as an adult now, I can say, okay, there was maybe a little bit of objectifying of her then by the time she did Return of the Jedi. But certainly in that first movie, I fell in love. I was in love, and I am still. You know?
But it's sort of in sharing in that memory, for me, same thing. That Star Wars movie was one of the first movies I ever remember seeing in a theater. My mom took my brother and I in the middle of the afternoon, and for me, I said yesterday, whether I realized it or not, she taught me that as a girl, I could hang with the boys, and I could be a badass, because that's what she was. She certainly didn't set out to have that impact on us, but she did.
Yeah, and, you know, we talk a lot about her role as Princess Leia, which is iconic, but she was such a talented individual. The books that she had written, she was a script doctor. She, you know, I love When Harry Met Sally. She played Marie.
I just saw that again this weekend,
And remember the scene, my favorite scene is there's somebody looking at you in personal growth.
Exactly.
I mean, like, and the way she delivered that line, it was just perfect.
He's never going to leave her. He's never going to. Nobody believes he's ever going to leave her. Again, I think for some of this is a generational thing, because these movies were so much a part of our lives. And you mentioned just the other things that she touched in being a writer, people that saw her in Broadway, on her show also, and then an advocate for mental health.
Mental health. She struggled with, you know, bipolar disease, and she, you know, talked openly about her abuse of narcotics. You know, and it was tough because she grew up in Hollywood royalty. Her mother is the great Debbie Reynolds, Debbie is outliving her, which is sad. And her father is Eddie Fisher, the great singer. Interestingly enough, I just this weekend watched Singing in the Rain, a young 19-year-old Debbie Reynolds doing Good Morning.
For kids that don't know who Debbie Reynolds is, Go find Singing in the Rain.
The Good Morning.
That is Carrie Fisher's mother.
Carrie Fisher's mother, 19 years old, I believe, with Gene Kelly and Donald O'Connor doing Good Morning. The name of the song is Good Morning. Go and check that out to see how talented her mother was, and Google Eddie Fisher, and then to see, like, Carrie in all of these iconic roles. Postcards from the Edge, a great book that was made into a movie about her relationship with her mother, which wasn't easy. But still, just like Princess Leia, she was able to succeed at almost everything she did. And I got to tell you, I don't know if I went to see the 12:30 showing of Rogue One yesterday with my girlfriend, and we turned off our phones after the previews at 12:45 or so. And then when the movie ended, and I won't say how it ends because people haven't seen it, but when the movie ended and the credits started to roll, my girlfriend turned on her phone and she said, "Vlad, Carrie Fisher just died." And I said, "No." And she's like, "Yes." And of course, I was overcome with a wave of emotions in the theater, and it was just ironic that I looked at my phone and the emails started circulating at CBS News at about 12:50, right around the time that I turned off the phone to watch the new Star Wars. It was just eerie.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable.
She definitely touched a lot of people, again, as I said, without even realizing it. I love your picture. I loved all the pictures people posted yesterday of Princess Leia, be it themselves as a kid, be it their daughters, and she lives on because she will be in that next Star Wars movie. Yeah, it had taped her role. Vlad, thank you.
Thanks, Dana. Thanks for having me.